Hey everybody. So this video is gonna starting off a little bit different just because this is future me coming at you before. So yes, this is taking place before it happens later. Anyway, I needed to explain a few things and make sure things are clear on the pattern, and also because I'm doing a second one. This is gonna be the second one because the first one, and I'll show you here. The first one, a little larger. First one was I made it for my wife, and she did not want to model it. So I made it, got everything ready, and she wasn't up for it. She didn't feel like it. So I put it on my daughter, and of course it was a little bit too big for her. You'll see in the photos in the video that the initial one, this one right here, was just too large for her. So, and I was using the large size. So now that I'm redoing this one for her, I'm using the size medium, so it'll fit her better. And this gives me a chance to go through some of these things and explain how to do it, right? So there's a note on the front, aside from the test, and there'll be a tutorial link here. A test to make sure that these are printed out correctly. You can measure them. There's a few different things you can measure here. There's also a note at the bottom letting you understand like which pieces are left and which pieces are right. And basically all this says is that left and right are based on the corset being worn, like on someone. So the left side, if it says left or right here, like it says right, this is the right piece, and it goes on the right side of the person when they're wearing it. Okay, so that's what this clarifies, and there's notes throughout. Okay, there's a couple other things here, like on this one, on all of them basically, but I wanted to call this out here. There's a couple different holes and some options here with this. The larger hole, the outer one here is for a 3/16 inch. And see if you can see that there. 3/16 inch, and that's for grommets. Okay, so if you want to use grommets on here to lace it, that's a 3/16 inch hole. The inner one is for rivets. So like the one I just showed you, it has those boot lace hooks and rivets. And so that's what the inner hole is for, and that's what it designates. This whole piece right here that goes on the back, this whole piece right here just overlays right here. And that's to reinforce the piece of leather that you're using. This is totally optional. If you're using thick enough leather, you might not need this extra piece to sew on top of it. That's up to you and the leather that you're using. Okay, there's also a hole right here and a note. This is an optional hole for grommet if you want to use shoulder straps. So like the one I just showed you, let me pull it up here. So that's what this hole right here is for. It's for this shoulder strap that comes around over the shoulder, and with the lacing, you tie it up there, similar like you do on the front. And I'll show that in the pattern here in a second as well. So again, that's optional. The shoulder straps, if you don't want to use those and you want to use this just as an overbust, that's optional. Okay. So you also notice that they're labeled. So like A1 and A2, you cut these out. You line up the scissors. Okay, you line up the scissors after you cut them out and tape it down, and then you're ready to go for that piece. Okay, so there's that. Here's the other side, the left side. Okay, for the middle piece, the main center panel. So this is one center panel right there. Right now, I have it as one piece. Okay, just one big section that you cut out and punch the holes, etc. You can, if you want, let me show this in a second. Here on the pattern, there's a mark down the middle And here, mark down the middle. If you want to cut down the middle and use like reinforcements like this to place over the top, okay, so you cut these out, place them over, and then cut down the middle, so you actually end up with two pieces, two middle pieces, which then you can use lacing or some other closure if you want to. Okay, and again, these are these you cut out, put them together, and these pieces go over the top here just to reinforce that section as you're lacing and you're pulling those lacing. There's a lot of tension going on in those grommets and on that leather, so reinforcing it is a good idea. It definitely helps out. And again, this is just if you want to use a centerpiece and cut it into two. Okay, so that's the centerpiece. Here are the other pieces, the right and left sides. These are just going the, again, you cut these out, line up the scissors. These are also labeled, as you can see, so you know what goes together. And then here's the left side. Okay, and those also on both of these, left and right side, you'll notice here, this is a little hole for that shoulder, the grommet for that shoulder strap, like I just showed you a second ago. So this is the front grommet that you would tie that lacing to, that ribbon or lacing to the shoulder strap, and then run it to the back. Okay, and that's on both of these, on both the left and the right side. That's those holes are for. Okay, so I'm going to, for this one for my daughter, I'm actually using she wants a dark green leather. So I'm going to, let me grab that and show you real quick, hold on. Yeah, so here's the green that she requested. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, putting those pieces together, cutting them out, and then making sure I have enough layout on this. I think I have enough to make this for her. Yeah, for her outfit coming up. So yeah, cut these out, put them together, put them on the leather, cut out the pieces, and then going to proceed from there. Right after this section, I'm just going to pick up and show you how I did originally the first corset, the larger size for my wife, and then go from there. All right, be back. Hey everybody. So this is going to be another fairly straightforward, like most of my patterns are, but this is going to be an overbust corset, or corset. It doesn't have any boning in it. Part of that reason is because it needs to be a little bit flexible for the shaping, and also because the leather that I'm using is medium to medium stiff. And so I don't think it's going to need boning in this one, but I have the pieces here, got all the pieces here cut out, and this is the kind of the order that they go in, these shapes. And then I also have the two more pieces for the back, where I'm going to be putting some grommets or eyelets or something here. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use, but I have two of the back pieces right here. Okay, so you have the two back pieces, the main centerpiece, and then the left and right panels that get sewn on and connect to the back. And for right now, just the simplest way that I'm going to be doing this without any embellishments is to just sew the centerpiece is going to go over the top of each side piece. Okay, so this is going to go on top of that one. This one is going to go on top of this. Okay, that's how you're going to layer them. And that's how I'm going to proceed. But I wanted to let you know what I'm using. Just a brown leather. Like I said, it's like a medium to stiff. And this is like a 3 to 4 ounce weight. But because it's stiff, I think this is going to work well, and we'll see how it turns out actually. Like I said, I'm doing this first simple piece, simple layout first, and then we'll get to some of the embellishments, like possibly doing something here on this front piece here. We could do some cool steampunk designs or etchings, or even laser etchings, or embossing here, or some extra embellishments on this front piece that would look really cool, or even on the side pieces. There's a lot of ways you can go with this, but for now I'm going to start off. I think you've seen this already. So I'm going to start off with just attaching these to, like I said, underneath. I should show that. He's going to go under, sew them, just saddle stitch underneath the main panel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first, and then I'm also going to finish. You notice I need to cut out and punch out the holes for the rest of these pieces before I can sew them on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first, and then come back and show you how it's looking. Also, this piece that I'm making, this is the larger. There's three different sizes in the pattern. This is the larger of the three. So just keep that in mind as you're watching this. Okay, be back in a jiffy. Hey, so just a quick update. I got the front panel and then the immediately two sides here sewn in, and I just wanted to, point of order, just kind of show you how this. So I made sure I burnished the edges here, and the edge that's going to be showing, burnished that one as well. The one on the side that's on the interior right here, I didn't burnish that just because it's not going to be seen, but I did burnish all the sides that are going to be showing. But here's the first three panels here put together. You'll notice that, if you're wondering, this curve here and this curve here, because they're kind of outward, they force out the shape, so it's narrower here than it is up here. And that's just because this is going to be going over the bust, and so it gives it more room to fill out. So if you put it like this, you'll see that it naturally comes out and then comes in, and there's more room here for the bust. So I'm going to go ahead and get these other two pieces, or four pieces, I guess, cut out, punched, burnished, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew them in. Yeah, it's that simple, really. Before I get too far along, I just wanted to show you the progress. All right, cool. Be right back. Hey, everybody. So back with this simple corset. Like I showed you last time, I got the front panel and two sides already done, and I started working on the two sides that connect to that. So if you're facing the person or facing the corset, this is the left, this is the right, or if it's on you, this would be the right side and this would be the left, right? Correct? Okay, so I got these attached. I did create there's another piece here on top of the main panel just for reinforcement when doing the lacing. And then like I said before, it's one on top of the next, so this is on top of this piece. And there's the seam, saddle stitched it. I used a nice green that goes well with this brown. But I made sure I beveled and burnished the sides and the visible sides here and the visible sides here, and then all along here as well. Okay, the one thing I haven't done yet, and I wanted to kind of show you some options. On this one, in different, some of the other corsets I've made, I've put grommets here. Not eyelets, grommets. Grommets have the two sides, which reinforces it when using the lacing. This one I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I'll show you what they are here. These are like what they consider boot lacing or boot hooks. Let's see if I can get this. So that's, yeah, that's what I'm going to be using. It uses a rivet, and it comes with rivets. I got these from Amazon, and this is what I was looking for. So these can go here, like that, more or less centered. Tandy, I was going to show you this here. Tandy does have something similar, but it is much larger than I was expecting to use, and it's kind of bulky, and so it wasn't really going to fit the, if you look at it like that, the aesthetic of this piece, it's just way too big. But they do have something similar if you have use of this. Otherwise, I got these overnighted from Amazon. Yeah, it was like $5 or $6 for 100 of these things. So I have plenty. Anyway, I'm gonna be I need to punch the holes in these panels, and then rivet these hooks in place. They're about, let's see here, about 3/8. You could fit something in there, but I would probably go quarter inch maximum, just to give it plenty of room to move around in there. So I'll probably use some 1/4 inch lace, something like this. This is actually a little smaller than the 1/4 inch, but this is something similar to this is what I'll be using to lace up at the back. Okay, so I'm going to do that first, get these punched out, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to stitching the side panels to the main piece here. And one thing I noticed that I'll show you a little bit later, but here at the top, when they come together, there's these two pieces that stick out like this. I'm just going to use a quarter arc punch. I'm just going to make that curve from here over to the other side. So there's a nice curve. It doesn't have these pointy things poking out. But I'll show you that when I'm getting to that point. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just going to stitch them together, kind of like that. And then we'll move on from there as far as ways to customize this, make it your own. I'll also show different ways to make shoulder straps. So there's some not harnesses. There's some corsets that have some grommets here that tie to shoulder straps and then tie to the back here, which I'll be doing that as well, just as an option for this corset. All right, that's a lot of information for now. So let's get to work on these pieces, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it done. Got all the pieces put together, and I also have, if I can get this over to show them the camera, the boot hooks for the lacing on the back. And in the pattern, if you look at the pattern, you'll notice that there's different size holes here. The stitching and stuff is kind of grayed out, and that's just because these are optional. This is the option that I went with, using the boot hooks for the lacing. You could use grommets with the reinforcement. I would recommend using the reinforcement if you're going to do the grommets. You don't have to. You could use eyelets if you want. And so the stitching, the holes are, some of them are grayed out. Those are just options. Okay. And here's the other side as well. You can see and it's just they're just double cap rivets. Okay. And they're fairly easy. Like I said, I got these from Amazon. I'll take some pictures with it laced up. Hopefully my wife or my daughter can model this for us. But I wanted to call out that option and that in the pattern. That's what that is. And then also there's a couple of other optional things, like my next piece the next part of this I'm going to do is put a couple of grommets, one up here in the corner and up here in this corner as well. And on the back, over here, way over on the left, have one here and have one here so that I can do the shoulder straps. Okay, you don't have to do the shoulder straps with this. It's really up to you. So I'm going to do that just as to show an option. The other thing that you'll notice on this main piece here, there's some grade lines and holes and stitching lines down the middle of this if you want to do lacing on the front as well. I'm not going to do it for this version yet. I might in the future, but for now I'm not doing that. But you'll notice that's what that is in the pattern. It's grayed out. It's, you know, the opacity is slightly off, just to show options for, you know, lacing up the front if you want to do that as well. Okay, so next steps is, well, first I'm going to get some photos on my model, whoever that might be, and then I'm going to put the grommets up here in the corners and on the side here in the back, and make some shoulder straps so that with the same lacing, I think I'm going to use, I talked about using some of that leather lacing like this, but I might use, I saw some pictures online using like ribbon, like a black ribbon, 1/4 inch thick or so, to lace through those. It looks pretty elegant, looks nice. So I'm gonna go look for some black ribbon to use as lacing, and then that same black ribbon will be used to connect from this grommet and here, this one, to the shoulder straps, and then the shoulder straps back to the back section over here. And in the pattern, you'll notice there are different sizes of shoulder straps. That's just it's going to be up to you on which length you use, depending on how you want this to sit on your body. Some women or individuals have, you know, longer torsos than others, and so you might need longer straps to go over the shoulders. Okay, so that's you'll notice that on the pattern as well. Like I mentioned before, this is the largest of the 3 sizes of corsets, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, overbust corset. But yeah, this is the largest size. And on the pattern, I'll include sizing for you know, bust and waist, so you can decide which size you want to use. Okay, all right, let's get to this. Okay, so here it is. My daughter modeling it for me. The next part, so this is just, like I said, this is the simple version, and it's adjustable there on the ribbons there and on the back, like in the pictures. One way I'm going to modify this is I'm going to put some of the leaves just here in the front, and then possibly, I think it'd be cool, and tell me what you think, Tasha, having some like potion bottles on the side that you could, like, so almost like not a holster, but like little bottles.
Mm-hmm. I think that'd be really cute.
That'd be really cool. So I'm gonna put some leaves and stuff like that, some leaves on the shoulder strap here, just to give it a little bit more character. And feel free to do that yourself. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. Contact me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. All right, good luck, and send me some pics. Bye. Hey everybody. Okay, this is future me again. After you just saw some of the videos and images of my daughter wearing the first corset that I made. That was the large size. And again, this is the medium, a little bit smaller for her since it'll fit her better. But I just wanted to show you kind of where I was at. Here's that green dark green I was telling you about that she wanted. So I'm using this. But like I said, you know, I just cut out all the pieces. I did not do the centerpiece, this right here, even though I did cut out leather for it, just so you could see what that looks like. You know, I would cut this out and punch the holes, similar to these pieces, to reinforce the back lacing. But this would be, again, this would be for the front lacing. If you want to cut this down the middle, punch the holes, punch the sewing holes, and then stitch these individual pieces to here and here. Okay, I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to set this to the side. So here's the front, the next piece, next piece, next piece. And I'm going to go ahead and proceed just like I did for the previous corset, the larger corset. I'm going to first start, just because it's easier, sewing these reinforcement pieces to the back side. So like this is the back right. Okay, so it's worn on the right side of the person, even though looking at it this way it's on the left, but it's for the right side of the body. Okay, and remember that I'm going to be doing layered this way, so that this goes on top of that. So it's going to layer like that. This one layers on here, and this one layers right there. Okay, so that's why I kind of have these generally laid out this way, just to show you the kind of how it's supposed to lay out, just like I did the first one. Okay, and I did do the holes here and on the back pieces over here. I'm going to do the shoulder straps with the ribbons, very similar to the first one I did, but this one's going to be green. And hold on a second. Yeah, this one I'm going to be using those leaf elements I was telling you about. I'm going to put some here, and probably have some there for the grommet holes on the back side, and then on the actual shoulder straps themselves, which, you know, I'll show you those as I get into it. But for now, yeah, I'm going to get started on the reinforcement pieces, sewing these two. Put this aside. Yeah. Sewing these down, and then getting the bootlace, D-ring, like for bootlaces basically. And I'll show you those again, just like the first one. So there shouldn't be any surprises. And this build, I'll go pretty quick since we already covered that in the large size. I'll complete this, and then I'll show you the pieces with the leaves. All right, be back in a little bit. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is the medium size overbust corset, and I did the leaves on there. You can see it just as an example of how you can embellish this and make it your own. I used the dark green leather with a light green tiger thread, and I'll include the leaves in the pattern just so you can see them and use them if you want yourself. But yeah, the medium size definitely fits her better. If you have any questions, let me know. Contact me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any of those, and I'll get back to you. All right, thanks and good luck.